Hello các bạn, mình sẽ bắt đầu vô tiếp ôn chương 3 nhé. Ok. Conducting primary and secondary research. Session 3, conduct background research là literature review. Rồi how to choose your participants. Rồi, đầu tiên là primary and secondary research. Primary research là the study of a subject through first-hand observation and investigation. First-hand là gì? Là collecting new data directly by the researcher, such as through interview, survey, personal observation. Còn secondary research là the collection of information from studies that other researchers have already conducted. Okay, right. This involves using existing data such as book, article, reports, access to libraries or the internet. Okay, đó là primary research là nghiên cứu mới luôn, first-hand observation of the and investigation. Còn secondary research là use existing knowledge, studies other researchers have carried out. Okay. Okay, rồi, đó là primary and secondary research. What is a literature review? A literature review is the critical analysis of public courses on a particular topic. Explanation is involved summarizing, classifying, comparing, and evaluating existing research to understand what is already known about your topic. Alright, it is a literature review. It's a critical analysis of public resource. It's a critical analysis of a public resource. It includes summarizing, classifying, comparing, and evaluating existing research to understand what already known about your topic. Next, why do we write literature review? Viết làm cái gì? To demonstrate understanding of the literature on a topic, to demonstrate your understanding of the topic. Vậy thôi, illustrate your understanding of the topic. Tôi coi cái này qua rồi nè, tôi biết rồi nè. Cho nên tôi viết literature review based on tôi analyze những cái đã được phân tích rồi. At the university, a literature review shows your ability to analyze and synthesize information. By determining what has been written on the topic, providing an overview of key concepts. Đầu tiên là nhận diện, rồi overview, nhận diện nó xong rồi cho nó một cái overview của cái concept là cái gì. Không? Rồi tiếp tục là identify major relationship, tiếp tục là xác định mối quan hệ. Noting strength and weaknesses of existing studies. Không? Điểm mạnh và điểm yếu của nó. Identify gaps in the research, những cái gap, những cái mà gọi là cái gap. Highlighting conflicting evidence, những cái gì mà nó mâu thuẫn với nhau. Rồi providing a solid background for your research. Cho nên là từ những cái mâu thuẫn này nè, cho nên là tôi mới quyết định tôi nghiên cứu. Đó. Những cái source của primary là relevant people nè, researcher observation nè, researcher experience nè, historical text, company record, personal document, statistical data, works of literature, works of art, film, video. Còn secondary là research book, research report, journal article reproduced online. Scientific debates, critics of literary work. Okay. Đó, nói chung là làm cái này để đầu tiên là này dài quá, có 7 cái. Đầu tiên là để determine what has been written, rồi give an overview from your perspective, rồi tiếp tục sau khi overview rồi thì key concept hả? Overview key concept. Rồi sau khi có overview thì xác định relationship giữa identify major relationship. Rồi sau khi đó thì noting strength and weaknesses of existing studies, điểm mạnh và điểm yếu. Rồi gap nữa nè, gap in the research nè, rồi conflicting evidence in the research. Rồi cuối cùng là give a solid background for your research. Rồi ok, hiểu không? Đầu tiên là cứ nhớ là 2 cái 1, 3. Rồi lại nha. Determining what already has been known about your topic. Make an overview of key of the concept. Rồi bắt đầu summarize. Cái gì không phải lộn. Identify the relationship. Rồi identify gap. Rồi identify conflicting evidence. Rồi identify strength and weaknesses. Identify ra 4 cái đó. Rồi sau đó cuối cùng là tôi có đủ những cái đó rồi. Create a solid background for your study. Yeah. Function of a literature review làm cái gì? A role of a literature plays in the research. Thứ nhất, cũng có 6 cái. Okay, a theoretical background for your study. Help contextualize your finding within existing research and refine your methodology. Bring clarity and focus to your research problem. Clarity and focus. Improve your research methodology by learning from past studies. Broaden your knowledge based in your research data. Allow you to compare your finding with existing research. Có 6 chức năng của literature review. Thứ nhất là provide a theoretical background. Thứ hai là contextualize your finding with already existing. Contextualize your finding within existing. Thôi kệ đi, lại nha. Create a theoretical background for you nè. Có something cho you compare nè. Rồi cái gì? Give you broaden your knowledge with existing article nè. Rồi refine your methodology nè. Improve your methodology nè. Hết chưa? Clarify and focus your research problem nữa. Clarify and focus your research problem. Và cuối cùng là contextualize your finding within existing knowledge and refine your methodology. Này, methodology là cái gì nữa? Rồi ok, rốt cuộc có 6 cái này. How to write the literature. 4 steps. Searching for existing literature. Identify your broad subject area and research problem to set search parameters. Create a book journal on internet. Đầu tiên là searching. Thứ hai là review, tìm ra xong rồi bắt đầu review selected literature. Tiếp theo là man, I gotta study all of it. Oh my god, I'm so exciting. So exciting. Very, very, very exciting. Searching for existing literature. Identify your broad subject area and research problem to set search parameter. Create a bibliography by using sources like book, journal, and the internet. Reviewing selected literature. Explanation. Read the selected sources critically, identify themes and issues relevant to your study. Use separate sheets of paper for each theme. examined whether the knowledge related to your theoretical framework, nó có liên quan tới cái framework của mày không? Theories proposed their criticism, methodology used, những cái phân tích những cái mà method mà nó đã dùng, rồi những cái criticism của nó, rồi the extent to which finding can be generalized, mày xài cái nào được trong khúc đó, the extent to which finding can be utilized, differences of opinion among researchers and their validity, gaps in knowledge that need further study. Develop a theoretical framework. Search, review, develop a theoretical framework. Theoretical framework organize information from book and journal under main themes and theories, highlighting agreement, disagreement, and gaps. Start with general information and narrow down to specific relevant to your study. Theoretical framework, the theories and issue in which your study is embedded. This is a broader set of idea of theory and your research connects to. Rồi, 4 là developing a conceptual framework. Sau khi có theoretical framework thì mình làm conceptual framework. Conceptual framework là select specific aspect from the theoretical framework to focus on in your study. Conceptual framework, the specific aspect of the theoretical framework that your study investigate. This narrow down theoretical framework to the particular element you will study. Okay. Tiếp theo, những ngón Analyzing the literature, evaluating the sources, ensure strong analysis. For each source, ask. Những câu hỏi để chúng ta analyze các source bao gồm 7 câu hỏi. What are key terms and concepts? How relevant is the article to my topic? What are the major relationships, trends, and patterns? How has the author structured their arguments? How authoritative and credible is the source? What are the differences and similarities between sources? What are the gaps that require further study? What are key terms and concepts? How relevant? What is the major relationship? Author structure. How has the author structured their argument? How I'm happy mà, happy. How authoritative and credible is this source? What is the differences and similarity between the source and the gaps required for further study? Đầu tiên là objective nè, overview nè, categorize sources nè, discuss the distinctiveness and similarity nè, objective, overview sources, categorize sources, and discuss the distinctive and similarity of each source nè. Đó là cách write a literature review. Có 4 cái: objective, overview, chia sọt ra, categorize source, and distinctive and similarity. How to choose your participant, sampling, cách chọn mẫu. Population là all sample in a specified group. Explanation, a sample là a portion of a sample is a portion of a population. Okay, type of sampling. There's a lot. Trời ơi, cố lên. Vui mà. Vui. Probability sampling method. Sampling where all members of a population have a specifiable chance of being selected. Non-probability sampling. Học đàng hoàng vô. Học đàng hoàng vô. Sampling where all members of the population have a specifiable chance of being selected. Cái con này tự nhiên ai mượn nó ấy. Đây. Probability sampling method. Simple. Chọn mẫu đơn giản, chọn mẫu phức tạp, chọn mẫu hệ thống, chọn mẫu cộng. Không phải đâu. Cái này là chọn mẫu ngẫu nhiên, không? Trời ơi, bữa mới học xong để ý cái này. Rồi nhìn bên đây đi, đọc chữ mệt quá, nhìn hình đi. Qua thành cái gì đầu tiên nhỉ? Direct method. Rồi, probability, chọn mẫu ngẫu nhiên, bao gồm 4 loại. Chọn mẫu ngẫu nhiên đơn giản, simple random sample. Chọn mẫu ngẫu nhiên phức tạp. Thôi, chọn mẫu ngẫu nhiên hệ thống. Chọn mẫu ngẫu nhiên phức tạp, stratified sample. Cluster sample là chọn mẫu cộng, chọn mẫu theo cộng. Simple random sample, stratified sample, cluster sample, systematic sample, non-probability sampling method. Ok, này ai vẽ đây? Sampling. Purposive sampling. Trong non-probability là chọn mẫu không ngẫu nhiên, nó có từ quên rồi. Non-probability, snowball sampling. Convenient sampling, chọn mẫu thuận lợi, không tiện nha nè. Đó. Và purposive. Summary. Sampling is not, if it's not possible to contact everyone in the research population, we select a number of people to contact. Two main types of probability and purposive sample. In probability sample, all people within a research population have a specifiable chance of being selected. Only within a random sample do participants have an equal chance of being selected. Purposive sample are used in generalization. Is not a goal. The size of a sample will depend on the type and the purpose of a research. Sample size should take into account issue of non-response. Remember that with postal survey, it will be difficult to control who has to do the questionnaire. In some purposive sample, it's difficult to specify the beginning of contact as possible mixture. Literature review, source template. Source, purpose, method. Okay, that's all. Done.